Bitcoin is downtrending since the rejection of $116,000 on Monday, and the bearish sentiment is very real. Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think we roll over, we break down here from $103,000 and go to lower prices, or do we maintain a higher low and we head up to tackle 116K, guys, and finally potentially breaking it to head up to all-time high? Let me know down below in the comment section. Today, we'll be getting some trading plans ready, looking at the technicals and how the price action needs to evolve for me to be interested either in a short or in a long position. Now, let's go through the bearish sentiment because this is very real. Bitcoin is going to $70,000. We have already entered the 12-month bear market. Last chance to sell your Bitcoin before going under 100K, guys. Welcome to the bear market. Even talking about the stock market already peaking out when we are heavily uptrending for the many years and months, and we only hit all-time high a few days ago. Man, the bearish sentiment is so real. Why is so many people so bearish? This is kind of making the inverse side, right? Of if everybody's very, very bearish and just a few are bullish, this could actually be very, very bullish. I am still in swing longs, mainly on Ethereum throughout multiple exchanges because I do see Ethereum hitting new all-time highs potentially in the next coming weeks. Of course, after all of this bearish sentiment to look for that recovery. On the higher time frame, it still looks very, very good. If you are interested in trading, guys, look no further. Bluffin has a 15% cashback, okay, on your initial deposit. BTCC up to $10,000 in rewards. You can use crypto here also to trade the S&P 500 stock market, gold, guys. You have the greatest bonus with the links down below in the description. First one for Bluffin or BTCC the second. You only need an email and a password to sign up to these exchanges. Now, I do get that a lot of people are very, very bearish. We have had the most powerful rejection in this bull run from all-time high, finished in an impulse, a clear 5-wave, high volume, impulsive move to the downside. And the movement up that we've had throughout the last couple of weeks doesn't look too convincing, right? To be a very, very strong, uptrend structure to continue to the upside. I do get that. There is the bearish case scenario that we are going to talk about, but I'm feeling pretty good for the bullish case, and I'll be explaining why. Of course, on the higher time frame, first of all, why do we have a reason for the price to actually have the bullish chance from here? Because we can count an expanding flat. We can count a flat structure, okay? Not expanding, a normal regular flat here from the all-time high that we had in August. We had a 3-wave structure to the downside. 3-wave, very, very clear 3-wave move up, guys. This is part of a correction, very, very likely, okay? We do have that 3-wave move to the upside and that impulsive move down to finish your C wave of a flat. A C wave needs to be an impulsive move down, okay? So we've got that. We can classify all of this as part of a corrective structure, which brings up all of the different bullish case scenarios. Let's go through the 1 hourly time frame and let's talk about this classic pattern, which I'm not a fan of, but ultimately it is extremely symmetrical. We have literally just back tested, okay, on most of the spot exchanges, the lows from the dump that we had on the 10th of October, that massive liquidation event, right? We have come down here throughout yesterday to back test that level, creating a little swing failure pattern from these higher lows right there, which is kind of a okay option to try and catch the low basically before we get those signs of strength, or wait for a pullback. We'll be talking about that pullback because on the bullish case scenario, it is a very, very rare way talking about Elliot wave theory, okay? But man, this inverse head and shoulder looks too good to be good, so it might not even happen, right? But it's just sometimes when it looks too good, it might come to fruition, right? I think there might be a lot of eyes watching this and everybody wants to go extremely long with the bearish sentiment. So we have the inverse head and shoulder, right? Really nice symmetrical right shoulder, just back testing the left shoulder. Yeah, this has the potential of continue rallying here throughout the next coming days to tackle that $116,000. Will we successfully break that neckline? That is a major question. This is why we go through Elliot wave theory to try and spot here what are the good levels? How can we rejoin this possible new uptrend? Because if this just wants to take off, are you going to long, okay, on the way up kind of FOMO in, or are you too scared because, yeah, we downtrending, big impulse, lower high. This is just another impulse. Could we form a lower high? And then the price just rallies and leaves without you, right? Very, very classic here for people that miss out on those trades. Now, I have to say, we'll be going through the lower time frame. Getting into the Elliott wave theory scenario, this move up does not look good. This move up from this low to this high, man, to try and fit something bullish here, you know, we have a low probability way, and taking into consideration Elliott wave theory, that this can be a motive wave and all of this is a corrective wave. That would be an expanding diagonal from the lows here created on the 17th of October, where you can fit a 5-wave structure. Now, I have to say, expanding diagonals are rare. They're not impossible, but they are rare, okay? They don't usually happen, but when they do, it might be at the most difficult moment when everybody's very, very bearish. Well, everybody, we've got a lot of people bearish, let's say. And, you know, that's when these patterns kind of evolve, right? When it's not looking that good, you know, it might be actually very, very good. Also fitting in here nicely with that inverted head and shoulder. So when we take into consideration an expanding move to the upside in a 5-wave structure, we would label this as your first wave 1 before building up your wave 3, right? And actually breaking out 116K and attempting to go to all-time high potentially in the next couple of weeks, guys, right? Let's stay realistic here. If this has to play out, you know, this is like your last zone really to form a higher low. It is true also that forming a flat, okay, because, I mean, you can count a 5-wave down here. We'll go through the bearish case as well. Getting a flat structure, very large, okay, in time compared to your wave 1 here, after an expanding move is kind of even also rare. But we just need to take it into consideration, right? You have that move down, move up, take out the highs, take out these higher lows. That's it. Liquidity to the upside, liquidity to the downside. Can we continue this bullish momentum locally on this bounce? We are still forming lower highs. We're still in bearish structure here from the last few days, basically since Monday rejection. So I'm going to talk about what we need to break through here to start being a little bit confident that we could actually continue rallying, okay? Now, the liquidity is important. It is true that when we got the rejection from $116,000, we did leave hundreds of millions of dollars of short liquidations, right? And the same thing is happening right over here. We do have hundreds of millions of long liquidations, just under 106K, okay? It doesn't really mean there's lots of liquidity up and there's lots of liquidity down. However, there's even more liquidity to the upside, which is eventually fuel for that potential momentum to the upside to try and tackle that $116,000. This is why we take into consideration the bullish case scenario. Now, taking a look at the bullish case scenario, we would have to zoom in very, very closely here on the 15-minute time frame. We'll cover the bearish case, but let's talk about the long setup here, guys. Bear with me, because I can see that, yes, look no further. We are downtrending since the rejection that we had on Monday. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high right there. This is your last lower high at 111.6K, because then you formed another lower low. It is crucial that we actually break above this level. But when we break that level, it might just pop. So you might think, I'm waiting for the sign of strength, okay? That is exactly also where we have the point of control, guys, of the entire range, okay? When we do zoom out and we look at the range that we formed throughout the last few weeks, right, with this inverted head and shoulder, we do have that point of control just round about 111.4K, right? That is exactly where we do have the last lower high, as explained right over here, right? Considering the local bearish market structure, your last lower high is at 111.6K, right? The highs that we formed here, lower highs formed from yesterday. So you might think, okay, well, if we break that, then we're breaking local market structure. Do I wait for a pullback, or is the price just going to rally, right? Or is it going to be a fake out? We go to lower prices. We'll talk about the bearish case later on. The thing is, on this local move, it does look pretty okay for this to be a mini impulse. You got your wave 1, little consolidation, big wave 3, retracement, and now you formed another high right there. It does look pretty okay for the initial stages of a shift of the bearish local market structure. Now, of course, I would be very interested in this pullback, especially if we are going to be forming local bullish CVD divergence, which we are kind of already having on Bybit. There's lots of people shorting here at the highs. So that is kind of a good sign. Can we give them a little bit of that hopium, correcting to the downside, continue the lower lows on the CVD, and then get that massive rally? Well, the most common area, all right, to form that possible wave 2, look no further, is in between 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci. Will we get down there? How are we going to get down there? But this would be the interest zone eventually between 50% and the 7/8, which is in between 108.2 and 107K. You need bullish CVD divergence. You need the price to form a 3-wavy, very overlappy corrective structure. Will we get that? I don't know. But if we do, I do realize that this could be eventually that wave 2, and then the price is just leaving without us. If you did not catch that swing failure pattern, okay, just yesterday at those higher lows that we formed here on the 22nd of October, right? It did actually form that beautiful swing failure pattern to get that rally. This is the only chance that you got to catch the low, right? Forming an SFP, getting some liquidity, you jump in. The other option is eventually getting into that higher low, right? Will we get the retracement? I don't know, but if we do and we get that overlappy structure, 3-wave move down, the 3rd wave fails to go beneath this low, and then eventually we understand that all of this is corrective and we could be starting that wave 3 to the upside. So pay attention to this zone. We need bullish CVD divergence. Look no further. You might even back test this low right over here, okay, coming down to the 50% golden pocket zone. This is the zone that needs to hold if we want to look for that bullish case, right? Explained here on the 1 hourly time frame, all right? Between 108.2 and 107.4K zone, all right, is the area to get that bounce if we want to consider the expanding diagonal rare structure, okay, and an ABC flat after that. First leg up does look a little bit impulsive on the lower time frame. Can we get a corrective structure, or we can just break through here or roll down, okay? But I am interested in that corrective structure if you have not already joined the swing failure pattern from these higher lows right over here to possibly give that option for the bullish case, okay? So this is the bullish case, right? Of course, we are below major resistance zones. We are below the point of control of the entire range at 111.3K. We are below all of the anchored VWAPs from all-time high, from the low, right? We are below all of the resistance, anchored VWAP, point of control. We are downtrending locally. The structure is bearish since Monday. So there's a lot of work to do, right? There's a lot of work. We are downtrending. Let's not forget that. There's a lot of work to do. If you want to anticipate that possible break up, the correction here, if we do get one, needs to be studied very, very carefully, because that could be your moment to rejoin the potential uptrend. If we were to go from higher from here, then let's just say, well, it's just leaving, right? Sometimes you're waiting for the pullback and the price doesn't give you that chance, all right? So let's go through the bullish case, right? The bearish one, sorry. We talked about the bullish one. Let's go through the bearish case. Bearish case, look no further, right? We do have that big movement to the downside, which is a 5-wave move, right? We can't make this up, guys. It is a 5-wave strong move down to the downside, and the movement up, if it is not an expanding diagonal with an ABC flat, well, then it's a double zigzag where you have a zigzag in wave W, you're flat here in wave X, and then another zigzag up here in your wave Y, just getting that classic swing failure pattern from your possible wave 4, right? As you can see here, this does happen a lot in the correction. Claim the wave 4, reject from it, and there we go. Now, bearish case. As mentioned, this movement down, either for the bears or the bulls, it does look like a, very much a 5-wave structure. Let's just go a little bit in detail here, because it does fit in very nicely with the volume as a 5-wave move down. Of course, 5-wave down, unless it's part of a flat, which is the case here, all right, looking at the expanding flat, okay, the expanding diagonal, sorry, this has a chance of recovering, all right, with that inverse head and shoulder, which also looks very, very good. But there is the bearish case. It is an impulsive move down. We are downtrending, and you can clearly see here from the rejection of $116,000, your low here, your lower high, you have inside here on the lower time frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to finish your third wave with the highest amount of volume. You got a running flat in your wave 4 and then your wave 5 with decreasing volume, okay, as you can see here. So you can fit very nicely an impulsive move down. It doesn't look too corrective, to be honest. It does look pretty aggressive and impulsive. Now for this case, what we would possibly see, as we do see a pretty nice leg here to the upside, even though we're downtrending, the possibility of forming a higher low and attempting to break out that point of control that could be very explosive. As mentioned on the bullish case scenario, yes, we do have that possibility of this being a third wave and really rallying here, heading to 114K plus, right? Getting that very, very strong move to the upside. However, on the bearish case here, if this is an impulse down, we're looking for a wave 2 and then fail to go to lower prices, then of course, the golden pocket would be an aggressive attempt from the highs to the lows. Golden pocket is one of the most respected Fibonacci levels, okay? That means that you would be breaking out here from point of control, but ultimately faking out here the point of control and then moving to lower prices. It is a very aggressive short if you want to try and attempt catching the high. Of course, the 7-8 could even be touched here. All right, 7-8, you do have a naked point of control from Tuesday. From this consolidation, there is a naked point of control at $114,000, which is exactly at the 7-8 Fibonacci. I would say that if you're getting all the way up here, a possible wave 3 is very, very possible. Okay, so it would be a very, very difficult short here, right? You could be reversing the trend here. The safest way to get into this short on the sign of weakness is getting above the point of control in that 3-wave structure, okay? The point of control right there of the range, and then losing that point of control. This would be an aggressive entry for a short. I have to say, if you lose that point of control, I would really kind of confirm that this could be a 3-wave structure. Ultimate confirmation is claiming that higher low, but as you claim that higher low, you either get the bounce and that gives you an entry and move lower, or you just move down and you collapse, right, in that wave 3, which could be very, very aggressive. So this would be the moment of decision. Get above point of control. It ends up being a fake out, okay? Get back below the point of control. You can get a bounce or not a bounce, but ultimately I would say that this would be an interesting shorting zone, right? Get that stop above that high. You're losing the point of control. You're not only aiming for the lows, but even the lows below $103,000 and even to lower prices, okay? If you are looking for a wave 3, this could really, really collapse down. So that's how I would be looking at the possible decision here, all right? Faking out the point of control, right? Getting that hope, oh, it's breaking out, but it ends up losing it, the point of control. And that's when we can detect that this could be a 3-wave structure. It will be decision time because we don't know if we're going to get a bounce or it's ultimately going to, collapse very quickly, right? That would be the point of weakness there to really see this as a wave 1, 2, 3, break above point of control and reject from it, giving you that possible short entry. On the lower time frames, we might get a little bounce, corrective structure for you to re-enter, but sometimes when we move down, we just collapse and we have that potential of forming that wave 3 to the downside. So that's a little bit of the plan that I'm looking at here for either a short decision or looking for a long decision. Now this move down, if we get lots of bullish CVDs, it's going to be looking very good. If we can detect that it looks corrective, I will be happy to join into a new long position here, guys. That is the bullish and bearish case scenario. The most bearish case scenario is a multiple 1-2 here formation from the highs where you have 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, another 1-2 here forming a lower high, and then you ultimately collapse down here throughout the next 24 hours potentially. Today's Friday, and Fridays throughout the last few weeks hasn't been too good. Friday the 10th of October, Friday right over here the 17th of October. They've been quite bearish throughout October, the Fridays. So it is Friday. We want to be a little bit cautious because, just at the end of the week, we couldn't see everybody just selling everything, right? And just getting that ultimate move down. So we want to be a little bit cautious here on the trading decisions. I will be going live in about 4 hours from now, guys, from the upload of this video. Make sure to subscribe. We'll be going technically in detail on where we can find some opportunities. Make sure to subscribe, smash up the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.